What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so today we're going to be changing the front rotors on my 1986 FOXBODY Mustang. I'll be doing step by step and showing you how to do it, how I did it. I'm personally only going to be changing the rotors because what's happening is I bought new rotors and I was driving down the street, and when I hit the brakes it chatters, when I hit 60 miles an hour it chatters, or it vibrates, and since I'm putting a new motor and I'll be going real fast, I can't be having the car vibrate all the way down the street and stuff. So that needs to be changed, but I'm going to be showing you how I did it, what I've been doing. I'm not going to be changing the bearings. I don't need to. The bearings are brand new. If it's still vibrating after, then I'll try the bearings, but for now I'm just going to be changing the rotors, and that's what today's video is going to be about. So I'm going to go pull the car in the garage. Gonna check if I can start with Tuner Studio with the cold start. My last video I tried to get it running and it didn't work, but this time I think I have it. I think I know the secret. So I'm gonna try it. If I win and get it figured out, I will tell you about it. If I don't, pretend like I never talked about it. So alright, I'm gonna get the car in the garage and then we can get started with this video. So I got the car to cold start, and I did it correctly. So there's just a setting in Tuner Studio where it's like idle duty percent cranking idle duty percent. That's what it is. And all you have to do is change the percent of the idle valve and how much it's open or closed while it's cold starting. And so since mine, it defaulted to really low, I brought it up to like 65%, and that cold starts at 6,500 or 1700 RPMs, and it just drops down slowly, and then it's perfect. So I got that to work. That was cool. I ran into this problem. So portable garage, I had the Mustang in there for like a week, and I had washed it just before. Then I put it in the garage, and it was great. It didn't get rained on, didn't get hurt. It was cool. Then I opened it up, I pulled it around. Just look. It looks like it's been through the apocalypse with how much dust and dirt there is on it. Wow, it looks really good in the video. But, see, there it is. Look how much dirt. It's horrible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get some super thick mill plastic from Home Depot, and then a couple sheets of plywood.
What?
Plywood. And bring it up and put it in there, and then hopefully it won't get all dusty and dirty. But I'm going to wash it before I do this rotor change, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of the video. Thanks for sticking with me. So we're gonna get right into it. Okay, so I got the car cleaned. We're gonna start taking the wheels off and get this thing going. So don't forget to chalk your back wheels, and now we're going to jack this thing up, pull the wheels off, and then I will get another look and I'll show you what's going on. Okay, so I got the wheel off, and we got to take the caliper off first. Make sure you have some tie wire or something so you can hang the caliper and it's not hanging by the brake line, because that'll mess it up really bad. So let me get into the light. So you need a hex or key, what do they call an Allen wrench? So you need an Allen wrench, and then you can pull off the brake caliper. You can pull off the brake caliper, and then you got to take out the cotter pin. All right, so you got to take out this, and then the caliper pulls off, and then you got to take the cotter pin out of here, and this slides off, and then your nut is right there, or your axle nut. No, your spindle nut. And your spindle nut pops off. And so that's what we're gonna do right now. Okay, so we got the old one off. There's the new one. You can see the bearings in there, and that's like that. So let me tell you what I did real quick. So I used a size, it's an 8mm, and that's how I got these two bolts out from the caliper, and then the caliper pulled off, and I hung it up with some tie wire. So that's how I did that. Then there was the cotter pin, and I pulled that out, and then this little cover right there, pulled that off, and then the nut. And the nut was a 1 1/8 ratchet, and it just popped off. Some of yours might not be that easy. I've taken this off before. These are new rotors, that's why I'm changing them, because I think they're bad. But I'm gonna keep my bearings too. So the other thing that I want to show you is the grease you want to use is this Valvoline Foreign Liquid Mercury grease. I really like it. I think it's a good grease, but it shows it right there. Disc brake, wheel bearings, steering linkage, chassis. So this is what you want. And they have it at AutoZone and all those O'Reilly's everywhere. So I'm not gonna pack the bearings because I've already done it. These bearings are thoroughly packed. And the way you want to do it is open this bad boy up. You can see all that nice grease. Take your bearing and then stick it in there and then rub it into the little bearing races or the bearings with your finger. And that's how I packed it. There is a tool that you can buy and it actually packs the bearing and squeezes grease into it, which is probably better. Maybe I can link that in the video, but that's how I did it and it worked fine. But these rotors are bad, so we are going to be popping the bearing out of this and putting it in this. So watch me do that. Okay, so like you just saw me do right there, you want to get a screwdriver and tap the inside of the bearing. Oh, let me flip it over. Tap the inside of the bearing and pop it out, but do it very gently if you're reusing your bearings like I am. So just you have to be very, very careful, and then you can pop it out. There's a ton of grease on this, holy crap. But it should just pop out, and then you should have a new one of these seals you should have with you, and then you're going to put the bearing in your new you're going to put the bearing in the race, the new race that you got. Okay, one thing I'm going to do before I put these rotors on is I'm going to spray it with brake clean real quick and then put the bearings in and put it back together and see if it worked or not. I don't have a lot of faith, to be honest, but I got to try something. The next thing I'll try the bearings. Maybe the bearings are totally wrong, so we'll see. Okay, now that we've sprayed our races with brake clean, we're going to let it dry, make sure it's good, and once it's dry, we're going to put a little bit of grease around it, and then put our bearing in, or put our inner bearing in, and then put our seal back in, tap it all in, and then we'll put the front bearing on. And that's how we're going to do it. So, let's fast forward. Oh, the other thing is you want to take a little bit of grease and rub it around the race once it's dry. Mine's dry, so I'm going to take some grease, and then we're going to rub it in the race and get that race all lubed up and get for the bearing. Alright, now that the race is lubed, I'm going to put our bearing back in, our already packed bearing. You can tell from the massive amount of grease on it. So what you want to do is, if your bearing isn't packed, you're going to take it, you're going to dip it in here, and then just take the grease with your fingers and rub it all in the bearing. And just keep taking it and pushing it in the bearing and taking it and pushing it in the bearing until it starts coming back out and you can't get any more grease into the bearing. And that's how you get that done, and that's how you properly pack your bearing. Okay, now your bearing's packed, you're going to stick it in the race. Now it's in the race. Stick it down in there. All looks good, all feels good. You're going to take your seal, put it on, and you're going to tap it very, very gently, like super gently. I'm going to take this towel so I don't get... You should do this with gloves. This is Not the smartest thing, but you're going to take it and you're going to just tap it ever so gently. Just like around in a circle until it seals. Just ever so slightly. Yep. So now that it is all the way, I'm sure without touching the disc, so now that it's all the way packed in there, we're going to flip it over and put the front bearing in. So the spindle, you're going to take your grease and rub it all on the spindle. See how I have a ton of grease on here? You're going to give it all the grease you want. And just put a ton of grease on here, lube it up with your finger. You should be wearing gloves. I'm not. And just get that thing all lubed up and ready for your new wheel and our new rotor and new wheel bearing. Okay, and now that we got the front bearing in, or the outer bearing in, you can stick it onto your spindle. So make sure you have clean hands. If you were wearing gloves, you could have just switched out gloves, but we're not that smart. So you're gonna take it, stick it on the spindle, and that will happen with the hub. Just make sure you get it on. There we go. And that is seated. Just like that. Alright, so now you're going to stick, it has like a key washer, and there's only one way for it to go on. And you just stick that on there, just like that. Now we're going to put our spindle nut back on and torque it to spec. Then it says, so after you get your rotor on with all the bearings packed and the key washer in, you're going to want to take your spindle nut, put it on, and torque it to 25 foot-pounds is what Ford says, and then a half turn off, so then you're closer to 20 foot-pounds. So that's finger tight. Then we're going to take it off with our 1 1/8 socket. And then crank our torque wrench to 25 foot-pounds. We're cranked it to 25 foot-pounds. Let's tighten this thing up. So, got it. And that's to seat the bearing. And then you want to take it off a half turn. To get it closer to 20 foot-pounds. But this is just to seat the bearing so you can make sure it spins nicely. And then crank it. Oh, God. A half turn. And it should spin freely. And it does. It feels good. It feels really good, actually. Now, we're going to put our cotter pin back in. Or no, we're not. We're going to put this guy back in. And then our cotter pin, and I'm recycling, which you probably shouldn't do, but we're doing it. Cotter pin is in, and then you take your pliers and break it, apparently. God dang it. So, and then you got your new rotor on, and it should run rather well. And then, before you put the caliper back on, you want to spray the whole thing with brake clean, because as you were touching it, you got grease all over it, or I did anyway. So, you're going to want to clean that up, and then put everything back together. And I'll do that in fast forward. Okay, and I kind of forgot about this step, but so the caliper will not go over the rotor since the rotor's bigger than the last one. So we have to actually squeeze the rotor, or the brake caliper, and make it fit over that. So what I'm going to do is take a C-clamp, squeeze it, and open up the master cylinder up there so the pressure can come out. And then it should be opened up enough to where I can get the caliper over the rotor. Okay, so I have a towel over my master cylinder with the cover off. So I'm going to put it over there so brake fluid doesn't get over my car. See, it's already catching stuff. I'm going to take my C-clamp, tighten down on the brake pad, and make enough room so I can get it over the rotor. Okay, everything is buttoned up. Make sure that you put your master cylinder lid back on. Very important. And this is all put together. Everything is back together. So make sure once you put the car on the ground that you pump the brakes a couple times, because remember how we squished the caliper so we had room to put it over the bigger rotor, or the new rotor. It's not going to stop when you press the pedal the first time. So you got to pump it a couple times, wait till it gets pressure, and then you can start running and driving the car. That's a big tip. So I'm going to put the wheels back on, see what if it fixed the problem. I don't have a lot of hope, but maybe it does. But that's how you change your rotors in your FOXBODY Mustang. Okay, well, got the rotors on, was driving down the street, and it did feel better for a little bit, and then I got up to speed and it was like, I don't think it fixed it at all. So I don't think the rotors fixed this vibration. It might be the transmission that's just shot, and it could be making the whole drivetrain vibrate, but I don't think so, because when I brake it vibrates. So maybe I'll just change the brake pads next time. Maybe that'll fix it. Stupid vibration is making me crazy. Whatever. But I guess that's the end of today's video. If you liked it, like it, subscribe, comment what you think. If you have the answer to why my car's vibrating, let me know in the comments, because it's making me crazy. I guess I'm going to try brake pads next. If that doesn't work, the transmission will be, that could be it. It could be the drivetrain, the transmission is bad, it's just vibrating the crap of the car. So that could be it too. Or it's the bearings. So those bearings don't feel bad is the problem. So I don't know. But regardless, I am going to be giving it another shot, I guess. I guess I'll try brake pads next. And if that doesn't work, I'll be trying bearings. But okay, that's the end of today's video. That's how you change the rotors on your FOXBODY Mustang. And I'll catch you guys later. And then unscrew my brain is, I hate the nut, the big nut. You gotta take the big nut off.